Right now, while you watch this, your brain is lying to you. Not once, constantly. It is editing what you see, faking what you remember, and quietly inventing the calm, confident narrator inside your head that you call you. And the wildest part comes at number one, where you'll find out that the single most obvious thing in your life, the feeling that there is one unified you and they're running the show, might be the biggest lie of all. Here's the deal for the next few minutes. Everything on this list is real, studied, published brain science. And every single one of them is happening inside your skull right now as you read this sentence. So let's catch your brain in the act. Number 9. There is a literal hole in your vision, and you have never once seen it. At the back of each of your eyes, there's a spot where the optic nerve punches through the retina to carry signals to the brain. Right there, you have 0 light-detecting cells. None. It's a blind spot, an actual gap in your visual field, about the size of 9 full moons stacked together. A French scientist named Edmé Marriott discovered it back in the 1660s. And here's the unsettling part. You don't see a black hole floating in front of you, do you? You don't see a gap at all. That's because your brain, rather than admitting, hey, I've got no data here, simply makes up whatever it thinks should be there and paints it in. Wallpaper, sky, someone's face, it patches the hole with a convincing forgery. Your brain would rather lie to you than say, I don't know. Keep that habit in mind, because it's about to get so much worse. Number 8. Almost everything you're seeing right now is fake, and you go completely blind several times a second. You feel like you're looking at a wide, crisp, detailed world. You are not. Only a tiny dot at the center of your vision, a patch called the fovea, is actually sharp. Everything outside, that is a blurry, low-resolution mess. Hold your thumb out at arm's length. That's roughly the only part of your world in real focus at any instant. Everything else, your brain is guessing, and it gets stranger. Your eyes don't glide smoothly. They jump in tiny flicks called saccades, a few times every second. During each of those flicks, your vision is actually switched off so you don't get a nauseating motion blur. Add it up, and you are functionally blind for something like a couple of hours a day, with your eyes wide open. Ever glance at a ticking clock and swear the first second lasted too long? That's your brain stretching the very last image to cover the blackout, an illusion called chronostasis. You never noticed because the editor is that good. Speaking of the editor covering its tracks. Number 7. Color does not exist out there in the world. Your brain invents it. Out in reality, there is no red, no blue, no gold. They're just electromagnetic waves of different lengths bouncing around. Invisible, colorless physics. Your eyes catch a few of those wavelengths, and your brain slaps a color onto them like a label maker, purely so you can tell things apart. A strawberry isn't red. Your brain just decided that this particular wavelength should feel like red to you. And if you want proof your brain is straight up fabricating, look at magenta, that pinkish purple. There is no wavelength for magenta. It doesn't exist on the rainbow at all. Your brain literally makes it up when it sees red and blue at the same time and needs something to fill the gap. The color you love most might be a color the universe never made. So when two people once argued whether a dress was blue or gold, neither of them was seeing the truth. They were just running slightly different fake color software. And software, as you're about to see, misses things. Number 6. You can stare straight at something and your brain will refuse to show it to you. In 1999, 2 psychologists named Daniel Simons and Christopher Chabris ran what became one of the most famous experiments in all of psychology. They had people watch a video of students passing a basketball and count the passes. Simple. Halfway through, a person in a full gorilla costume strolls into the middle of the scene, beats their chest, and walks off. It's on screen for 9 whole seconds, and roughly half the viewers never see it. Not forgot it, never saw it at all, even though they were staring right at it. It's called inattentional blindness, and the lesson is brutal. You don't see the world, you see the tiny slice of it your attention is aimed at, and your brain quietly deletes the rest while telling you that you saw everything. So how much has walked past you today that your brain simply chose not to render? You'll never know. It didn't save the file. And it's about to mess with something even more personal, time itself. Number 5, your brain at its time, and it does it seamlessly. You feel like time flows evenly, one smooth second after another. But your brain chops it up, stretches some bits, compresses others, and stitches the seams so you never notice. Remember that stop clock feeling from earlier? That's your brain caught fudging the timeline. It also does something sneakier. When two things happen close together, your brain will sometimes reorder them so the story makes more sense, showing you a tidy version of events that didn't quite happen in that order. The now you're experiencing isn't a live feed. It's a cut, a produced episode, which raises a genuinely uncomfortable question. If your brain is editing time, how far behind reality are you actually living? The answer is number 4. Number 4, you're living in the past. Right now, your brain is slow. Light hits your eyes, sound hits your ears, and it takes roughly 1/10 of a second for all that information to be processed into a conscious experience. That doesn't sound like much, but it means the present moment you're feeling already happened. You're always about 1/10 of a second behind reality, watching a slightly delayed rerun and calling it live. Your brain hates this delay, so it cheats. It actually predicts the near future and shows you where things are, not where they were. That's part of why a skilled batter can hit a ball that, by the time they consciously see it, has already moved. They're swinging at a prediction. So the face of the person you love, the screen in your hand, you're not seeing them now. You're seeing them a heartbeat ago, wrapped in your brain's best guess about the present. You have never once experienced the actual present moment. Let that sit. And if your brain fakes the present, you can probably guess what it does to the past. Number 3, your memories are being rewritten and you'd never know. You feel like memory is a video you replay. It isn't. Every time you remember something, your brain rebuilds it from scattered fragments. And it can quietly slip in details that were never there, patching the gaps, just like the blind spot. The psychologist Elizabeth Loftus proved this in a way that still rattles people. In one famous study, her team convinced a chunk of ordinary adults that they had been lost in a shopping mall as a child, a thing that never happened. The people didn't just say, okay, sure. They remembered it. They added details. They got emotional about it. Your most precious memory, the one you're certain is real, could be part invention, and your brain would defend it to the death. So the childhood you carry around, the story of who you are, how much of it is footage, and how much is fan fiction. And here's the part that gets really personal. If your brain fakes what you see and rewrites what you remember, then who exactly is making your decisions? Number 2, you make your choices before you know it, and then you invent a reason. In the 1980s, a scientist named Benjamin Libet wired people up and asked them to press a button whenever they felt like it, and to note the exact moment they decided. The shock. Their brains showed the decision forming a fraction of a second before they were consciously aware of choosing. The choice was already rolling before you felt like you made it. It gets funnier and stranger. Researchers Peter Johansson and Lars Hall ran a study where people picked which of two faces they found more attractive, then were secretly handed the other face and asked to explain their choice. Most people never noticed the swap. They just smoothly explained why they preferred the face they had actually rejected, confidently, in detail. Your brain didn't say, wait, that's wrong. It made up a reason on the spot, because that's its favorite job. Not making the decision, but writing the press release afterward. Which brings us, finally, to the biggest lie of all. Number 1, the single unified you. Reading this might be a story your brain tells after the fact. You feel like there's one you in there, one steady voice, one decider, sitting behind your eyes running the whole operation. But when scientists looked closely, they couldn't find that one place. The Nobel-winning researcher Roger Sperry and his colleague Michael Gazzaniga studied people whose left and right brain hemispheres have been surgically separated. And they found something staggering. The two halves could act independently, sometimes even disagree, and yet the person still felt like one seamless self. Gazzaniga discovered why. He found what he called the interpreter, a system in the left side of your brain whose entire job is to take everything you did and felt and spin it into one smooth story, one main character, you. In his experiments, when one half of the brain made a person do something, the talking half, with no idea of the real reason, instantly made up a confident explanation and completely believed it. Sound familiar? That calm narrator in your head explaining who you are and why you do things isn't the captain of the ship. It's more like a commentator watching what the rest of the brain already did and announcing it like it was the plan all along. The unified, in control, you might be the brain's greatest special effect, a character it writes so well that the character is convinced it's real. So let's go back to where we started. Right now, as you finish this, your brain is patching a hole in your vision, hiding half of what's in front of you, inventing the colors, running a tenth of a second late, quietly editing your memories, deciding before you know it, and narrating a you that may be its most convincing invention of all. Which one unsettled you the most? The hole in your vision, the invisible gorilla, or that last one about who's really in there? Tell me the number that got you. Because the strangest part isn't that your brain lies to you. It's that it's the only thing you've got to catch it with.